Hey, my loves. So today we're going to talk about ancestral blockages and how to break them. In my video today, I am going to dive in with you on the topic of prosperity, financial abundance, and also love. So I am going to give you some tools because my goal, my desire is to activate the God force in every single person that has a desire so that they're spiritually empowered to make positive impact on the earth. Just imagine for a moment if everybody was walking in their true fullness of Christ consciousness, of their God consciousness, how much the earth would have evolved into the Garden of Eden. Literally, our earth will be the Garden of Eden. We would not have all these disasters and emotional pain and trauma and violence. The earth would be better. And that is my desire, is to empower as many people as possible to tap into that. So in order to tap into your God force and your God power, you got to find a foundation that resonates with you and recognize that the Spirit of God is within you. This was something that I grew up in the church. I knew about God. I had a relationship with God. I read the Bible. I'm connected to the spirit realm and all of that. But it just did not come alive inside of me that I had the Spirit of God inside of me also. So God, and I think it is in the book of Matthew or Luke, where it asks Jesus what are the important things, the highest commandment or something like that. And the first thing he said was, which is a Hebrew prayer, which is Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Ekbach, Hear, O Israel, the Lord is our God. The Lord our God is one. Right? And then he said, love thy neighbor as thou love thyself. Love the Lord, second, with all your heart, your mind, your spirit, and your soul. And then love thy neighbor as thyself, which was 3. And so we are one. So that oneness of God that's inside of you and around you and in everything and in every one of us. And I just want you to take a moment and just close your eyes and just feel, like say it to yourself that the Spirit of God is within me. Like God that created the heavens and the earth, God that created the chair you're sitting on, because he gave the gift to somebody and they brought it out into reality. That the God who heals, the God who makes the rain fall, that created the sun, the moon, and star, an aspect of him is inside of me. And again, you were created in the image and likeness of God. So then you are an aspect of the greatness of the I am that I am. And I want you to breathe that in, because the breath of life is the gift of the Almighty. And so if you are struggling with confidence, and if you are experiencing lack in your life, and if you are experiencing doubt and feeling depressed and like you're failing, the thing to do is to meditate on that. Find that scripture, or just the thought, the knowing that the God force is within you. And because God is within you, you are able to overcome anything, any obstacle, anything that comes, you are able to overcome. So how you overcome is by tapping into the God force that's within you. Now, because we have been, in my opinion, there is the great separation where that idea is not fostered, it is not nurtured, it is not nourished, it is not made known in the church. It is not, we're not taught how to embody this spirit, the Spirit of God. And I feel that because we get a taste of it when we go to church and, during praise and worship, which is the one thing that I can say where people are saying they feel the power of God. And then you get it in the church, and then when you leave, it's gone. I feel like that is why also people go to the church and feel the need to be in a church, because that is how it's invoked. But you are able to invoke the Spirit of God. There are many times in the Bible where it talks about how the Spirit of the Lord came upon, and the favor of the Lord came upon, and they were able, David and all the greats in the Bible, it talks about how the Spirit of the Lord came upon them, Samson, and they were able to do mighty feats. Now, it doesn't mean that it is no longer happening. The Spirit of the Lord is still coming upon us to help us to establish and do what we need to do. You know, when Michael Jordan is playing, who you think is on him? The Spirit of the Lord, that he's able to do take these crazy shots. You know, you see it in artists and in sport personality, or even in our soldiers when they're able to just go and sneak into places and do things that supernatural, they had to have had supernatural grace, you know, or the favor of God upon them to do these things. So for you, your homework is to start to identify moments in your days when you feel that the Spirit of God is upon you, when you accomplish something. Like, for example, for me, I know the Spirit of the Lord helps me with getting to appointments on time, because guess what? I get green lights. I get green lights all the time. Like, it's you know, and I say thank you every time, because I'm like, I know that you're redeeming time with that. You know, the Spirit of the Lord comes upon me when I cook an amazing meal, and my husband is like, whoa, babe. And I always do it, because I can tell when the Spirit of the Lord is coming upon me to cook a delicious meal, because I feel joyful when I'm doing it. So whenever you're performing a task and you feel that joy rising, that is your vibration rising. That means the Spirit is near and you are right there near the God force, okay? So you want to do things that when you can feel the transformation in your body, because when the Spirit of the Lord is coming upon me, like, I can feel, for me, I feel heat rise, and I can feel, or I feel coolness, or I feel like tingling in the back of my head or at the top of my head, or I feel my hands heat up. I'm a Reiki master, so my hands heating up, that's a part of the Reiki energy for me. But I can feel there's certain signs, like my ears will ring, or I'll feel an itch in one ear, and I know, depending on the ear, I know which guide is speaking to me. And so there are many ways that will tell you when the Spirit is coming, or you're gonna be in a place where it's coming. So it's time to embody and do. So for your homework is to identify times when the Spirit of the Lord is coming upon you, and when you feel it, and then you expand it. Don't run away from it. Feel it, embody, and sit with it for a while, and then let it do its perfect work in you. Because what that is also doing, sometimes it's not necessarily that you're doing something and you need the Spirit of the Lord to come upon you to help you through it, but it's also sometimes that there are things inside of you that needs to be cleared, removed, cleansed, purified, and the Spirit of the Lord needs to be embodied and indwelled and activated and awakened inside of you in that moment in order to do that work. So in the beginning, I talked about ancestral lineage and breaking certain things as it relates to love or your money. Now, I'm going to say, I don't want to do all of this in this video, so this is part one, but I am going to tell you to start here. Find out about your lineage. Find out about the female line. Like, what are the women? Are all the women from your great-grandmother, your grandmother, your aunties, you know, your sisters, your auntie and all of that, your cousins on the female side? Was there like a straight line of good relationships where they're married, or it was easy for them to find their husbands, or their husband find them? You know, and then how are they with money? Who has the money in your family? Is it the mother side? Is it the maternal side? Or is it the paternal side? Okay. And then you're going to you know, research, like, how is money spoken about in your line, in your family? And also, how is love? What does your family believe about relationships and love? All right. And then from there, your homework starts. And I am going to leave you with that. So I gave you quite a few homework in this, because there are things that are happening currently in your life right now that has nothing to do with you, but has to do with ancestral stuff that needed to be cleared, cleansed, and transmuted. And you are probably the one that is in charge of creating the change in this lifetime. So you start by activating your God force within, connecting with the God force within, because God, the Spirit of God, is mighty, is powerful. Okay? And so once you connect with the force, then you will the activation will happen, and then you will get the guidance that you need, and you will hear the next step, and you will be led to the right person, or the right person will be led to you, the right situation will be led to you, and you will be victorious. So follow for more, and share your comments below. Thank you. Aloha. Malama Pono.